Okay, so I want you to picture two two very different political scenes that have just been all over social media recently.
Hmm.
They're almost diametrically opposed in their messaging, but they share this common element that, it just generated identical levels of outrage and debate.
Right. So on one side, you've got the very high-profile conservative gathering Turning Point USA,
Yeah.
and the headline star there, lending her, her huge platform, was Nicki Minaj.
And it wasn't subtle, right? It was a very visible alignment that just lit up conservative social media.
Oh, absolutely. And it drove liberal commentators into, well, a frenzy.
And then, on the complete flip side, you have these huge, energized Democratic rallies.
Right.
And they're featuring performances, very visible appearances by people like Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B.
And those were performances designed for maximum viral impact. They were guaranteed to just dominate every single news cycle.
Exactly. So you have these two events, Minaj at a conservative conference, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion at a rally for a major candidate, and they generate this totally predictable flood of outrage.
A complete cascade, debate, immediate emotional reactions, endless heated arguments online about who's a sellout, who's authentic, which side is using its celebrities better.
Yes. Everyone just jumps into the fray, picks a side, and passionately argues about the celebrity's politics. But that is precisely where our deep dive starts today.
Hmm.
We're tackling this central and I think very provocative question from our source material. What if these seemingly opposed political acts aren't really political endorsements at all?
Or at least not in the primary way we think of them.
Right. What if there's something else entirely?
Something that is, maybe expertly engineered to create that exact level of emotional polarized distraction.
Exactly.
Our mission today is to analyze this external perspective that sees this entire dynamic, this clash of celebrity figures, as the carefully constructed machinery of distraction.
So our goal is to step back with you, the listener, and really try to identify the underlying purpose of all this, at least according to this analysis. We're deliberately stepping outside the emotional story.
Yeah, we're trying to treat the whole thing like a complex mechanism.
And the source material we're looking at, it provides a really brutally objective framework.
It does. It comes from a blog post titled, "The Puppet Show Has No Party Lines" on the Knowledge is King platform.
And this source argues that the true political effect of these stars isn't the vote they might sway, but the argument they create.
It promises a pretty harsh look behind the curtain. The claim is that the real drama isn't on the stage at all.
It's in the indifference of those managing the entire show. So let's start there.
Right.
Okay, so let's really unpack the core thesis here, this idea of the machinery of distraction.
Right.
The source argues that if you just intentionally step back from the specifics, forget for a second if the celebrity is wearing red or blue,
Mhm.
you stop seeing political action.
And you immediately start seeing the machinery.
Yes, the machinery of distraction at work. It's a pretty big mental shift to make.
It really is, because that shift moves your focus away from the celebrity performers and onto what the source calls the hierarchy.
An anonymous, powerful ruling structure.
Exactly. And the first, and maybe the most important assertion, is about this hierarchy's motivation. The source claims this hierarchy just does not care which side a celebrity is on.
So they're functionally indifferent to whether a big name is advocating for the left or the right.
That's the argument.
I mean, that's a staggering claim when you think about the, trillions of dollars and the massive regulatory power that hangs on election outcomes. They really don't care if it's candidate A or B.
Well, according to this analysis, their interest is in structural control, not the partisan policy details. The source asserts that the only thing this structure cares about is that the populace, that you, the viewer, is spending your mental energy watching and debating the celebrity.
Instead of directing that energy toward questioning the structure itself.
Precisely.
So the celebrity's main function becomes transactional. It's not to win votes for a party, but to occupy public bandwidth indefinitely.
Yeah, the goal is to influence the focus of the public, making sure it stays fixed on these low-stakes, high-emotion culture wars.
Instead of, the high-stakes, low-emotion systemic issues.
Exactly. The celebrity becomes this incredibly expensive but highly effective decoy.
Right. Because if the public is arguing fiercely about whether a particular song is okay for a political rally,
Then they are, by definition, not analyzing who funds that rally or what complex, nuanced bill the candidate is pushing that's going to affect long-term monetary policy.
okay, so let's get into the specific tactics then. How do they achieve this kind of mass distraction? The course gets pretty detailed here.
It does. The machinery works by deploying what the source calls the shiny objects of fame.
Entertainers, pro athletes, all the high-profile personalities.
Yes, and they're used to achieve a critical transformation. They are masters at taking these complex realities that require slow, analytical thought.
Things like global trade agreements or obscure regulatory changes. Things that are honestly kind of boring.
Very boring, but very important, and they take those things and they package them.
They turn them into something immediate, visceral, and, above all, emotionally compelling.
Precisely. They package these complex, slow-moving realities into bite-sized emotional narratives.
So if you think about the examples we started with, the focus is always on the personal drama, the perceived hypocrisy, the outrage.
Yes. The celebrity provides the emotional heat, which immediately bypasses the analytical light you'd need to understand, say, the federal budget.
It's the difference between looking at a 500-page infrastructure bill versus arguing about the political optics of the rapper who endorsed it.
That's a perfect way to put it. The emotional response is immediate and cheap. Understanding the bill is slow and costly in terms of your time and your attention.
And that speed, that emotional intensity, that's the key to the distraction.
It has to be. The faster and hotter the public conversation gets, the less likely anyone is to pause and ask fundamental questions about the background machinery.
The things that actually affect your cost of living or your job stability.
Right, the things that never make a good viral tweet.
Hey.
So if we clock this to the bigger picture, the goal isn't just to, influence one news cycle. It's to fundamentally contain public attention and curiosity.
Contain it.
Yeah. The ultimate objective, as this source identifies it, is to keep everybody debating pop culture loyalties, what a performer said backstage, or what outfit they wore.
Rather than questioning the ingenuity of the cultural, social, political, and economic machine that runs in the background.
Exactly.
So this implies the distraction is a strategic defensive move. It's designed to preserve the status quo.
It has to be.
If everyone's busy fighting about whether Nicki Minaj is a conservative figure now, they are not analyzing how specific trade agreements benefit the very entities funding the candidates. It's a deflection of intellectual gravity.
And that is why the source uses such a stark and frankly chilling description of fame in this context.
What do they say?
They state it plainly. Celebrity is a tool of containment.
Wow.
It's not seen as some accidental byproduct of a free society. It's defined here as an explicit mechanism to restrict the movement of public focus and energy.
That phrase, tool of containment, it really forces you to look beyond the celebrity's individual choice and see them as a structural component.
Yes. If they're a tool, they're being wielded.
And this brings us to the visual metaphor the source gives, which is incredibly powerful for, visualizing this control.
Right. They ask you to picture a classic theater, specifically a puppet show.
Okay.
The whole containment idea is designed to make sure the viewer's eyes stay fixed squarely on the stage.
Which is the celebrity performance, the public arguments, the drama of the election.
All of it. And the reason you have to keep your eyes there
is so you never look up.
Exactly. You never look up at the puppet masters in the rafters.
The rafters are where the hierarchy is. The hidden nature of the real decision makers, the anonymous power structure operating above the daily partisan noise.
Yes. The celebrity is bathed in this blinding spotlight, drawing all the scrutiny, all the passion, all the intellectual energy away from those who are operating in the dark.
So if that analogy holds, then the hierarchy sitting up in those rafters, they don't actually care if the puppet is arguing for universal health care or deregulation.
No.
Yeah.
They just care that the audience is so mesmerized by the quality of the drama that they fail to realize the strings even exist.
So the maintenance of the drama is the main function.
It's the primary function. The show has to be engaging, the debates have to be emotional and intense, because that kind of debate keeps the viewer psychologically occupied.
And crucially, passive when it comes to the big systemic questions.
Right. It creates this illusion that by debating the celebrity's alignment, you are fully participating in democracy.
So this all leads to what the source calls the unified outcome argument. If the real goal isn't specific policies, but this kind of structural containment, then the source argues that whether a famous rapper endorses a conservative think tank or a pop star rallies for a liberal candidate, the result is identical.
And this is the critical, counterintuitive leap the source makes. It's a big one.
It is. How can two completely opposed endorsements lead to the exact same result?
Well, the answer, according to the source, isn't in the policy results, it's in the final state of the audience.
Okay.
The ultimate result is synthesized in one really powerful phrase: compliance through entertainment.
Compliance through entertainment. Let's break that down. What kind of compliance are they talking about? It's not like obedience to a law, is it?
No, it's compliance with the system itself.
I see.
The argument is that the entertainment value in the spectacle, the crazy headlines, the controversy, the viral videos, that secures public passivity about the systemic issues.
So by turning politics into this consumable, entertaining show, the public complies by focusing their energy on the show instead of the mechanics of the stage.
Exactly. The compliance is the unspoken agreement that the political conversation should be about entertainment and personality clashes, rather than, rigorous analysis.
So the delivery mechanism, the fun, engaging spectacle, is what secures our passivity, no matter if the message is conservative or liberal.
Yeah, the entertainment factor just overrides critical thought. It fulfills that psychological need to feel engaged without demanding any real intellectual work.
It lets the average person feel politically active just by having a strong emotional opinion about a celebrity's choice.
And that sense of participation, without needing any systemic action or deep understanding, that is the compliance. This system keeps running because it successfully monopolizes our attention through fun.
This just fundamentally reframes the celebrity's role. It strips away any sense of genuine activism they might claim for themselves.
Oh, completely. They aren't seen as fighters for change. They're seen as highly effective spokespeople for the existing dynamic.
And the source has a killer line for this, right?
It does. It delivers the final assessment with absolute clarity. They aren't fighting the power. They are the commercials for the power.
Wow. That's the core takeaway right there, the transactional nature of fame and politics.
The celebrity is just validating the whole framework, the need for the two-party struggle, the emotional basis of political debate by becoming the most high-profile piece inside of it.
And if they're commercials, their main job is to generate buzz and visibility.
Which naturally draws attention away from the boring, difficult, complex truths running in the background. They're selling the idea that the political drama you see on TV is the entire show.
Right.
And that's why the source ends this analysis with a very clear directive for the reader, an instruction for how to watch these events from now on.
What's the instruction?
They tell us, don't get lost in the narrative. Watch the hands moving the pieces, not the pieces themselves.
That's the essential insight, isn't it? Stop looking at the celebrity. Start looking at the structure. Stop looking at the drama. Start looking at the systems that stay unchallenged, because the drama is just too good.
Yeah.
So we just finished a deep dive into this powerful external viewpoint, the argument that high-profile celebrity political endorsements, no matter the party, function as this elaborate distraction.
Right. A mechanism designed to prevent you from questioning the deeper, anonymous power structures that are actually running the show.
The goal being structural compliance, achieved through the high engagement of entertainment.
And what's really fascinating here is that this idea, distraction, containment, emotional manipulation, it isn't some one-off theory for the knowledge is king platform.
It fits into a bigger picture.
A much broader, consistent examination of perception, control, and, historical influence.
For instance, they have related material called Untangling the Strings, breaking free from being an emotional puppet.
Which directly expands on that puppet show metaphor we talked about. It offers strategies for recognizing when your own emotions are being manipulated for political ends.
And they also ground this in historical context, right?
They do. They reference ideas about mass influence with articles like, mass psychosis isn't new, it was diagnosed in 1895.
So what this tells us is that this analysis of celebrity distraction is part of a much larger worldview about how societies are steered away from self-awareness. It's not just a commentary on modern celebrity culture.
Exactly. It's a system that they argue has been refined over centuries.
It really is a profound call for extreme vigilance about the information you consume and, more importantly, the emotional reaction it triggers inside you.
Yeah. The source basically implies that if the news is designed to make you instantly angry or instantly happy, it's likely part of the machinery.
Always question the intensity of the heat, because that's what's obscuring the light.
Well said.
So let's leave you with one final provocative thought to consider as you scroll through your feed today. If the hierarchy's goal is pure distraction and compliance, and they're using these high-profile figures as sophisticated commercials for the power, how might one start to distinguish between a genuine bottom-up grassroots movement?
Something driven by real organic necessity and local action.
And a curated, high-profile event that is essentially just a political commercial. That distinction might just be the key to fulfilling the source's directive to watch the hands moving the pieces.